Welcome to the social media marketing update for June 2025. My name is Alison and I'm your host for today's session. I'm the consultant and founder of Avocado Social. We help businesses use social media strategically and more effectively to help generate your business objectives. So, whether that's leads, sales, brand awareness, or generally to build an online community, we help our clients with all different aspects of social media marketing, from the strategic side of things right through to managing campaigns, including advertising. So, if you are interested in learning more about what we can offer you or coming on a workshop with us, then you can do by scanning the QR code on this slide or heading to our website, which is avocadosocial.com, where you can find out more about what we do for businesses around the globe. I've been working in the social media industry for 15, nearly 16 years now, which is quite scary. And I'm so passionate about what it can do for business and how you can really utilize these tools to make a difference for your brand. So, if you would like to have a chat with me about your social media strategy, or perhaps how your wider marketing or communication teams are using social media, then please do get in touch. As usual, we have put together a really wide range of updates happening in the social media landscape for this month's update. We do this every month. We have done for over a year now, so you can go back and watch past updates on our YouTube channel. And we're very passionate about making sure that marketing and social media professionals are kept up to date with all of the latest trends, features, and platform changes, because my, does it change regularly. And we scour the news on a daily basis to make sure that we are bringing you the most up-to-date and useful changes in the social media landscape. So I do hope you find these sessions useful. If you do, then I will be sharing a review link at the end of today's session. But as usual, there is lots to cover, so I'm going to crack on. You can see the 10 updates that we have decided on here, but of course, there's plenty happening as always. I will open the floor to Q&A at the end of today's session as well, so if you're interested in asking me a question, you can use the chat box, or you can just talk to me at the end of today's webinar. So let's get into it then. Instagram has recently announced that they are rolling out the feature to arrange your Instagram grid just by clicking an edit button. Now, this feels a little bit like it should have happened years ago, when we were very, very focused on making sure we had a positive and amazing grid aesthetic. So the idea is that you want someone to land on your Instagram grid and understand exactly who you are and what you do, and feel so engaged that they click that follow button. This is a very long awaited feature, but they did announce on the 12th of June that this feature is rolling out, and some of you might already have it. We don't have it yet at Avocado Social, unfortunately, but do let us know if you do. The idea is that you can edit your grid just by clicking on the options button on your grid and on each post, and you'll be able to drag and drop content on your feed to rearrange the order in which it appears. This is one of their most frequently requested features in recent years. Of course, it still means that you can pin post to the top of your feed, like many of us do, to make sure those important announcements are right at the top. But all of the other posts have been chronological over the years. But this allows you to really curate and perfect your grid. We think as well it could be good for kind of seasonal products, or bringing items which are bestsellers maybe back to the top of your page, or if you've got a really important announcement about an upcoming event, moving that to the top of your feed regularly if you so wish. So do keep an eye out for this feature. You can see here just some more screenshots of how it will work. And actually, we think that it's certainly a clue from Instagram that they are moving back towards this kind of more perfect grid aesthetic and really curating how you appear to new users that land on your profile. The other thing that they're looking to do is move highlights into the grid and add them as a tab. So, story highlights, those circular folders just underneath your bio on Instagram, are being potentially moved into a separate tab, which you will find on profiles. This is not necessarily happening, it's something they're going to test. But I think again, it hints to us that maybe story highlights aren't as well engaged with as they once were and can actually sometimes be quite distracting when somebody lands on your profile. So, as I said, is this a sign that we're moving more towards this perfect grid? Everything's kind of been a bit messy over the last few years on Instagram, and maybe this is the sign that having more of a curated feed will help you to make that initial impact more easily. So you can see some examples here. This is something we've been testing for the past year on Avocado Social. So you can see here we do like to mix up our content between carousels and grids, carousel and reels, sorry, on our grid. Using some consistent brand colors, which I think is important on Instagram. But other brands here, retail brand Rituals Cosmetics, they kind of focus on rotating different colors of their core products on their grid. And then the matcha brand Perfect Head, which of course is an FMCG brand. So they're very focused on having recognizable packaging, getting people to choose their drink when they go in store somewhere. So having a recognizable brand is really, really important here. And you can see the strong green throughout every single post. So definitely something to think about and keep an eye out for whether that customizable edit grid button is available for you yet, because it is rolling out. So, Instagram is also testing a new feature that allows users to repost content directly to their feed, not just stories. So, this kind of retweet button, as it was always known back in the past, is looking to potentially be tested over on Instagram. So, ideally, what this will mean is that if you see a post that you like, that you want to also post onto your feed, you'll be able to go to that post and simply click repost. That will mean that it will go onto your grid, and so your followers and anyone engaging with your account will be able to see it. So, Instagram is already packed with various content types from stories, reels, posts, notes, DMs, and of course, advertising. So, adding reposts does feel a little overwhelming at the moment, but others may welcome the feature because it makes sharing interesting posts more easier and more direct. I suppose if you're working in partnership with another organization or brand and you wanted to reshare some of their messages, or perhaps if you wanted to reshare some of your customers' content, this allows it to sit more easily on your grid as opposed to always just choosing for it to go out on stories. Now, this idea has been in development for a long time, since 2022. And it has been reported a number of times over the years. So it's not necessarily a new concept, but it's definitely one that Instagram is revisiting at the moment. We've definitely seen a couple of kind of potential screenshots being released about what it could look like. And you can see here that there might well be a reposts tab on your profile. So you can have a look and see what people are reposting from others as well. So keep an eye out for this one. It's not necessarily something that's definitely going to happen, but it certainly could be a feature that we see before the end of the year. So, one of our big trends for 2025 was social SEO. And that is certainly something that we've seen integrated into so many parts of social media this year. But one of the biggest updates that's happened is that Instagram posts are now going to be shown in Google search. So, back in April, Adam Mosseri, head of Instagram, went on a podcast called Brock Johnson's Build Your Tribe podcast. So you might follow him on Instagram. He's quite a good person to follow for tips and advice. And on this podcast, he shared that Instagram is really going to be focusing on improving its in-app search and how content appears externally as well. Instagram appears to be competing more directly with TikTok and YouTube in the realm of content search and discovery. So we're seeing a lot of people heading to Instagram to perform searches like Father's Day gifts or summer rooftop bars or picnic ideas. So, particularly younger generations under the age of 35 are using social media platforms much more as an alternative to search engines like Google for their searches. So, what happened this week was you should have received this notification on Instagram, which states that from the 10th of July, Instagram will let search engines show public content from professional accounts in the search results. So note that this is only from professional accounts, not from personal accounts. This includes photos and videos that are already public, so they've got to be public posts on Instagram, but they'll now be more visible across the web without needing to log into Instagram. Creators can still opt out of this broader visibility through their privacy settings if they wish to, and you can opt out of it if you wish. So you can turn off indexing in your privacy settings and you can switch to a private account if you want to. But Instagram will turn it on by default on the 10th of July, and search engines are expected to begin to index a whole lot more of this kind of content. So, what does this mean for SEO and marketers then? Well, it's really focusing on much more of this search engine results and discovery through AI as well. So, the AI is really going to be looking out for things like keywords that you're using in your captions, location tags to try and ensure that people are finding the right kind of content that they're looking for. It's hopefully going to boost your visibility and traffic online. And remember that these captions that you're adding on Instagram are going to be more important than ever. So, including keywords in your captions is really, really vital. We posted about this on our social media a while ago now, how to create search friendly social media posts. So you can scroll back and find that. We'll pop it in our Instagram stories today if anybody does want to go and have a look at that. But there's some good tips in this post, including the fact that you should be using tools like Answer the Public or Google's Keyword Planner to help find keyword terms that your audience is searching for. You can check social listening to see the language or words that your audience, influencers, and competitors are using. Putting those relevant keywords naturally into your captions and making sure that you are doing this more so than using hashtags, using alt text, and of course, video captions as well are picked up by this, as well as geotags. So if your business has got a specific bricks and mortar location, of course, using location tags can be really important. And finally, consistency is key. So this is something you really need to be thinking about if you want to get more reach and be appearing in more searches online for the rest of this year. Okay, so another big update from Meta over the last week is that Meta is now turning all Facebook videos into Reels. So for a while, we've had on Facebook videos, Reels, and Stories. We've now got Reels and Stories. So they're removing the need to choose between uploading a video or uploading a reel. The content creation process for videos is now streamlined. So ideally, the reason for this is just to make it easier to create video content on Facebook. What's happening is existing video content on your pages will remain, but every new video that you create and post moving forward will automatically be a reel. So what do we know about reels? Well, they are vertical. That's the 9:16 aspect ratio. And they need to be engaging within the first few seconds. They are ideally less than a minute long. So really thinking about how to apply those best practices to your existing video is important if you are looking to upload reels on Facebook. Users will still be able to control their audience settings and can now choose who sees their reels, including friends, select group, or the public. And from a business point of view, of course, you want all of your posts to be going public. So this also applies to video, except live streams. So live streams still fall into their own video category with its own separate capture and upload flow. So if you are still utilizing live streaming on Facebook, then do be aware that that is still a live that you choose, not necessarily a reel. In terms of your video metrics, Meta says that video and Reels metrics will now be consolidated into the Reels analytics section. This was the image that they chose to share this information with on their blog. We thought this one was a bit surprising because the video that they've chosen on the right-hand side is actually a landscape video for the demonstration. And so you can see that there's an awful lot of blank space in that user experience. You can, of course, tap on the full screen by flipping your phone, and that will make the video go full screen. But I'd imagine that the best performing video will be vertical video because you can see it just takes up the full screen. It's far more engaging to people. So the video tab on Facebook will be renamed to the Reels tab, and these changes are being rolled out globally to both profiles and Facebook pages over the coming months. So quite a lot of Meta news going on at the moment. And one of the other updates that we've been talking about regarding Meta is adding links to posts. So official confirmation from Facebook itself has said that you shouldn't include links in your Facebook posts and that you should, in fact, be adding them into the first comment. Now, this is quite surprising because for a number of years now, Facebook has been one of the better social media platforms for sending referring traffic back to your website. We know that some social media platforms like Instagram aren't necessarily the best ones for driving traffic back to your website. They're more for brand awareness and engagement because, of course, you can't put a link in a caption on Instagram. But over on Facebook, you've always been able to put a link in your post. But this official confirmation from Facebook, which actually was shared by Social Media Today just over the last week, reported that users have found this recommendation in their post-specific insights in the professional dashboard for their Facebook pages. So really interesting to see that if you do put a link into your post on Facebook, they are stating that this can harm the post's distribution, and this could harm how many people actually see that post. So very surprising. If we look at this data, which is according to Meta's latest widely viewed content report, 97.3% of post views on Facebook in the US during Q1 of this year did not include a link to a source outside of the app. So that backs up what they're saying, that you're going to get more content views when you don't have a link in your post itself. So the Meta advice is to put links in the comments on Facebook. So that one surprised me a lot because we've had a lot of back and forth over whether adding a link to your post caption does harm the distribution on different platforms. And so I was quite surprised to hear this one about Facebook, and certainly is something that you should be testing yourselves to see if this rings true with your own data. According to the Instagram chief, if we look at other meta platforms like Threads, they've been working to improve the reach of links in the app with a view to encouraging more publishers and creators to posting in the app. For me, this feels like a bit of a direct response to Blue Sky. You might remember a couple of months ago, the CEO of Blue Sky said that they love links in posts and that they don't harm distribution at all, and that people are very welcome to put in as many links as they want in their content. So it feels like Maseri at Instagram is directly responding really to that change from Blue Sky. He said, "We don't down rank links, but we don't place much value on um, on I'm just having a quick look there. We don't place much value on the clicks, and people don't like and comment on links as much." But it does seem like they have switched up their approach. So they are now offering you the chance to add 5 links in your bio, just like you can on Instagram. So they're changing tack. And this is something that happens a lot in the social media world, as I'm sure you're all aware of. Also, this month over in Threads, they did roll out their insights feature for links. So you can see top links within top content and the number of clicks your links are getting. So it does look like Threads are trying to support people posting links a little bit more. Maybe they're going after the publishing communities slightly more so than what they have before. And of course, links are different across different platforms. I mentioned that on Instagram, we don't really tend to put a link in a post. You normally are using that link in bio to do the work. You can also add a link in stories. And if you're paying for Meta Verified, you can, of course, add a link in a number of reels each month. On Facebook, as I've said, it's worth testing links in comments as per the advice from Meta. Threads looks like they're switching up their approach and that links are now okay. And on LinkedIn, they did a report earlier in the year. You might remember we shared this metrical report, which was the big 2025 LinkedIn study, and it uncovered major insights into post formats, but also in terms of links, they found that posts with links actually have higher impressions and interactions than those without. So on LinkedIn, you can certainly include your links in the posts. Feeling a bit confused? Yeah, so am I. It's very, very hard to stay up to date with this kind of stuff, isn't it? But as you can see, it's always worth testing and experimenting. Okay, another Facebook update. And Facebook has recently launched a new passkey, which is a secure digital credential that serves as an alternative to using a traditional password for logging in. You might be aware of passkeys from online banking, where you either use your fingerprint or a face scan or a PIN to unlock your mobile device, or even to open up your online banking app. And this is something that Meta is now pulling in so that you can use one passkey across all of your Meta profiles. So this really does offer enhanced security compared to passwords or SMS codes. They're resistant to phishing scams and also any kind of password attacks, making them difficult to guess or steal. This is apparent because a lot of people do complain that they lose access to a Facebook account. It's been hacked, their account's been compromised. And of course, if you've got business pages attached to those accounts, it can be incredibly stressful to try and get that business page back. And I've had a number of dealings over the years where we just haven't been able to get something back for a business because it's been hacked or the the profile attached to it, the password's been changed. So these are passkeys that are now being rolled out on Facebook for iOS and Android, with availability on Messenger expected to come in the next couple of months. And they are working seamlessly across Meta apps to make them available to all because they're just so much more effective than the traditional password. So you can easily set up and manage your passkey within your Accounts Center in the Facebook settings menu. Once set up, passkeys obviously make it faster and easier to log into Facebook. So do check this out. Always make sure that your accounts are secure. I know it sounds like a bit of an obvious one, but if people are moving through your business quite quickly, if you are changing ownership of things like Facebook pages, people are leaving the business, it's really good practice to stay on top of this and just to make sure that enough people within your organization have access to the business pages. It's not all controlled through a dummy account, but you actually have some genuine people who have admin access to your Meta Business Suite. And also that you are using things like two-factor authentication and passkeys, because that is the most secure as the digital world becomes more and more vulnerable to attacks. This is actually very relevant because on the 16th of June, TechCrunch reported that Instagram users for weeks have been complaining about a significant increase in accounts being mistakenly banned, suspended, or hacked with little help from Meta, unless they are Meta verified. So this is really interesting. It's something that's kind of bubbling in the background, is that maybe Meta are prioritizing people who have that verification subscription that they are paying for. Users who do not pay for the Meta verified subscription potentially lacks priority access to customer service, leading them to seeking help from alternative platforms, or even a black market business. There is a bit of a black market business which is thriving on the lack of Meta business support, where desperate creators and business owners are resorting to paying a broker's fee, who are people who are claiming to connect users with Meta insiders. I'm on a few marketing WhatsApp groups, and this conversation comes up so regularly as I'm locked out of Meta, or my friend or a business I know are hacked. How do we get in touch with Meta? So, for example, a dog walker whose account was hacked paid a broker approximately $1.2 thousand after a number of numerous unsuccessful requests to Meta. I don't know whether they were able to actually have their issues solved in the end, but I'd imagine no, because often it's just Meta who are able to fix things in the end. So do keep your eye out for this. This is obviously, completely not above board to be doing. And there are a few lawsuits happening at the moment, where Meta has fired or disciplined several workers for abusing the system. They've been permitting people to get access to accounts, sort of, offering a dodgy way in to somebody at Meta. And the company has also sued brokers involved in this practice. So something to keep an eye out for. I would suggest, if you have issues with access to Meta, is paying just for a month to the Meta verified offering. You can see here we've given a rundown of the 4 different subscriptions that they currently offer businesses. We've got Business Standard, which you can get in the UK for £12 at the moment, so £11.99. And Business Standard does give you access to Meta verified support. We are paying for that at the moment at Avocado Social. We're experimenting with it this month to see if it is worthwhile, so we'll certainly be reporting back in July. And then you can see, using the kind of more expensive offerings, you get extra features like links in Reels, and actually more kind of priority VIP support as well, like a call from an agent at Meta. So it could be something that you look to pay just for the month that you're looking to get something sorted. But like I said, we're experimenting with it at the moment, so we'll report back and let you know if it is 100% worthwhile doing. Okay, so we're looking at the rise of generative AI tools ongoing in social media. I mean, there's just so much development going on, as we all know. And the latest social media platform to announce and expand its AI generation tools, particularly in the video sphere, is YouTube. So it was the big marketing and advertising get together, Cannes Lions, last week. And there we saw a lot of new features, new platforms making announcements. And we saw Neil Mohan, who is one of the top execs at YouTube, discussing what 20 years of YouTube reveals about creativity's future. So, one big announcement that they made is that YouTube is expanding access to Google's VO generative AI tool later this year. So, this means that we're going to see more creators using YouTube Shorts as a way to promote AI powered video generation. So, this is a big, big update. You'll be able to write in your prompt using Google's VO text to video tools and then create a video off the back of that. So, it's coming to YouTube Shorts later this summer. And they believe that the tools are going to open new creative lanes for everyone to explore. Previously, VO2 was only available to selected shorts creators in February, and this basically means that it's going to be available to more users. And we're predicting a big rise in AI generated video content on the platform. Let's have a little look at some VO3 video. So we have showcased some of this video before in our updates recently. But as you can see, it follows prompts like nothing ever before. We have this
And
video.
she commands your awe with every breaking light. This ocean, it's a force, a wild, untamed might. And she commands your awe with every breaking light. This ocean.
So that is actually all AI generated, believe it or not. We have shown you that before. You might recognize it from a previous update, but it allows you to add sound effects, ambient noise. We had the water splashing and even dialogue to create a very natural video. I mean, I would not know that that was AI. I'd have thought it was an actor, but it's all AI generated. So pretty amazing to see what's coming. And yeah, everything's going to be, I think, incredibly different by the end of this year. I think we're going to see some really amazing user cases of AI video across social media. Just a few stats that were also shared at Cannes Lion last week. So YouTube Shorts are now being viewed over 200 billion times a day, which is way up from a year ago, which was 70 billion. So 70 billion to 200 billion in a day. So amazing, really, that viewers are now watching over 1 billion hours of YouTube content every day on their TVs as well. That is a huge trend that we're seeing. Also, YouTube is facilitating a huge amount of podcast viewers and listeners. So, 1 billion podcast viewers on YouTube each month. And YouTube's AI powered auto dubbing tool has also been used more than 20 million on more than 20 million videos. So if you are creating one video for different global markets, this AI powered auto dubbing tool is a fantastic option for you. So certainly one to go and explore. Let's talk about LinkedIn and in particular LinkedIn video. So Lindsay Edwards, the Vice President of Product Management at LinkedIn, recently shared an article saying they're going to make it easier to break through the noise and get results with video. So we're hearing that A lot of our clients are potentially testing video on LinkedIn, but it's still not performing as well as they would have expected. And maybe even your carousel posts, your documents, or even your multi-image posts are performing better. So this is something that LinkedIn has recently addressed. They emphasized that they are committed to providing tools that help B2B marketers stand out and achieve better results through video content. And they shared some B2B stats as well as announcing some new video ad placements as well. So they are really dedicated to making video work on LinkedIn. They ran a B2B marketer sentiment research questionnaire and found that 75% of respondents agreed that short form video was helping them to reach decision makers. They found that 77% of B2B marketers agreed that short form video helped them to build trust with their audience. And 93% of marketers agreed that video is better at driving brand recall. So it's more memorable than just seeing a single image ad. 80% of B2B marketers said that they need to leverage creative marketing tactics to stand out because it's more competitive these days. This is a common conversation I'm having a lot with a lot of our consultancy clients at the moment, where they're saying maybe they need to do something a little bit more drastic to build their community on LinkedIn because it's ticking along, but they're not seeing major growth there. And so that is where I would be really leaning into the opportunity of video and what it can provide, particularly vertical video. And that's something that LinkedIn is beginning to roll out much more in its advertising platform as well. So LinkedIn have announced that they are partnering with Adobe Express to help B2B marketers create video much more easily. They have designed some video ad templates, which can be directly exported to LinkedIn as ads. They're creating more LinkedIn optimized templates available for marketers in Adobe Express, but also you can utilize vertical video very easily in the campaign manager now. The other thing that they've launched is first impression ads. So that is a new format where once you open up your video player in LinkedIn, you will be able to ensure that you are getting that very first view in the feed, which essentially means for your target audience, you're hopefully creating a great first impression. Let's have a quick look and see what Lindsay has to say in this video.
71% of B2B decision makers are now Gen Z and millennials. They grew up digitally savvy in a video-first world. If you're not reaching them on video, you may not be reaching them at all. That's why we're going all in on video, making it easier for brands to expand their reach and drive results. 91% of B2B marketers say that grabbing attention is their biggest campaign worry. So we are launching new products to help you break through the noise. One thing I'm really excited about is reservation buying, which we're rolling out for the first time. First impression ads help you maximize brand awareness during your most important marketing moments. And you can reserve the first ad slot in the LinkedIn feed with vertical video for single-day campaigns to reach your ideal professional audiences. We've seen great momentum with CTV ads since we launched last year. Customers like Salesforce have achieved over 70% unique reach with LinkedIn CTV ads. And we've made additional enhancements to CTV that you can check out today. Turn your vision into video that converts. Start creating today.
Love that phrase. We're going all in on video. And that's something that I keep in the back of my mind when I am consulting clients this year, because if you're not using video as we go into 2026 on LinkedIn, I do believe you are going to be left behind when it comes to the effectiveness of your organic and your paid campaigns. So if you want to have a chat about LinkedIn advertising, do get in touch and I'll be sharing my contact details at the end of today's update. So this felt like a bit of a big one. WhatsApp has finally launched ads. And so they've been talking about bringing ads to WhatsApp for years. It's something that a lot of people have been very much against. And actually the CEO of WhatsApp is very, very against ads as well. But they need to monetize the platform. Interestingly, WhatsApp is now the most used social media platform here in the UK. And a lot of people still don't consider it as a social media platform, but it certainly is. And they're seeing huge success on WhatsApp in terms of user figures. Where are the ads going to appear? Don't worry, they're not in your inbox. They are using different areas of WhatsApp, such as the promoted channels, which is an area where you can opt in to receive updates from businesses, blogs, brands, football teams, all kinds of different creators and businesses. So the ads can be appearing there as promoted channels. You can also support your favorite channel by subscribing to receive exclusive updates for a monthly fee. So you can promote subscriptions there, and also status. So I don't know if anyone here uses WhatsApp status. I know it is big in certain markets like LATAM, but it's not huge here in the UK, I don't think, or isn't amongst my circles anyway. But there are ads that can appear in here, and it's essentially a story dimension there. So status is basically WhatsApp's version of Facebook and Instagram stories. Privacy is of course one of the main concerns of many using WhatsApp. They have been very clear that these new features will only appear in updates tabs away from any personal chats. This means that if you use WhatsApp to chat with friends and family, there should be no change to your experience at all. They've said that we'll use limited information like your country, city, or language, the channels you're following, and how you interact with ads as a way to understand what ad preferences you should be seeing in the future. We will never sell or share your phone number to advertisers as well. So making it a little bit easier there for people to understand, and a little bit more kind of reassuring that the ads aren't going to massively alter anyone's user experience. So TikTok has reached some crazy new heights recently. And if you are an e-commerce brand not using TikTok, then you certainly need to be considering it for the remainder of the year. Brands and creators have hosted over 8 million hours of live shopping sessions in the US. This live shopping element to TikTok seems to be one of the key features of the app that they are massively promoting at the moment. 171,000 local and small businesses are now operating TikTok shops, and 76% of consumers who've engaged with TikTok Shop bought something from a live stream in the past year. I've done it myself. I've done it a number of times now, where you log into TikTok, you open it up, somebody is presenting a live kind of QVC style shopping phenomenon. And there's some crazy deals and offers, and you just feel so compelled to buy something in the moment. So they work very well. They're very urgent, they're very compelling. And in the US, TikTok shop sales have increased 120% compared to the same period last year. So some pretty amazing stats that TikTok is seeing there. According to research by Global Data and TikTok Shop, 83% of all shoppers say they've discovered a new product on TikTok Shop, and 70% have discovered a new brand as well. So it is a great way to get your e-commerce brand out there. Works particularly well in the beauty space, fashion space. We're also seeing some edible elements like sweet shops, this Real Superfoods brand, which is kind of like gut health powders and supplements as well. So I do think that they are relaxing their rules slightly around what is available to purchase on TikTok. So certainly something to consider. And these live shopping events to really promote your deals on bundles or exclusive offers and amazing giveaways can work incredibly well. I listened to a podcast with the brand on the left, which is a Welsh beauty brand called Mallows. And I think they said they make Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure they said that they make something like £5,000 a day on TikTok just through going live. It's probably more than that, to be honest, but doing incredibly well from their live streams and have been able to really scale the business very quickly because of this. So if you're not using TikTok shopping, certainly time to explore. We've got a TikTok workshop coming up in September. So if you're interested in all things TikTok, we're not just talking about shopping, we're talking about ads, content creation, we're talking about building your business's profile on TikTok. Or if you do specifically want to talk about shopping, we have some great connections with some fantastic TikTok shopping consultants as well. So do give me a shout if you would like an introduction. So wow, we've made it through the 10 updates. Lots going on, as I usually say, but I did want to announce that next month we're doing things slightly differently. So for July, instead of doing our usual big kind of 10 updates webinar, we're going to switch things up and try out an Ask Me Anything. So please come to the session with your questions. You can send those in ideally ahead of the session, just so I can plan out exactly what we're going to discuss. But anything that is niggling you about social media at the moment, anything that you want me to predict, any trends, anything that you want me to investigate, any kind of wider strategic questions that you'd like to ask me about your social media strategies, come along and let's have a good old chat about all things social. Of course, we will still update you on any major changes you need to know about in the social media world, but you can send in your questions, you can scan the QR code here, or use the form which my colleague Sarah has shared in the chat as well. We'd love to hear from you and understand what is your biggest challenge in social media at the moment and how can we help you to overcome that. So we'll be sending out that form via email as well, along with today's recording. And I'm sure you'll see us promoting that heavily over social media over the next few weeks as well. So hope to see you on our Ask Me Anything session, which I think is the 24th of July, but we'll have those dates coming up in just a moment. As usual, I like to share a couple of examples of social media campaigns and posts that we've spotted within the team at Avocado Social that we've really enjoyed. So the first one I wanted to share is a pasta bar called Onda, who are based up in Manchester. You can see that they went viral in 2023 on TikTok and Instagram with a video of their tiramisu drawer at their pop-up location. So let's have a quick look at that. It's making me hungry now, isn't it? But that really went massively viral. The video alone gained 24 million views, 24.6 million views on Instagram and 33 million views on TikTok. So that draw has massively helped them to build their business and get people coming in and trying out that tiramisu. And so what they did was recently they just celebrated their first birthday of their permanent residence in Manchester. And of course, they went back to the tiramisu theme and they shared a giant birthday tiramisu with the team, which you can see is performing really, really well organically in socials as well. So really like that one and thought that was a great example to share as well. So kind of going back to a popular trend, seeing if you can almost do like a part two or bring it up to date with what's happening in your local or in your business and your marketing calendar at the moment. So lots of pictures of that tiramisu, lots of videos of that tiramisu being shared. Another campaign that caught our eye this week, or this month, I should say, was Kerrygold, the Irish butter brand. Yes, you heard me right. They had actually invited 7 US-based creators to come on a trip to Ireland and have a bit of a tour around and get to know the beautiful island. So let's have a quick look at one of the videos, which was the most popular of the 7 creators and reached over 1 million views on TikTok.
Here's everything I ate on a butter brand trip in Ireland. No, you did not mishear me. Carrigo literally brought me here to plump me up with bread, butter, and potatoes and roll me back home. And I'm not complaining. We got to our hotel and I'm greeted with a Jameson iced tea. We freshened up and had afternoon tea awaiting us in the Knights Bar. We're staying in an actual castle, specifically the one Kim and Kanye stayed for their honeymoon. Like, okay. Obviously, I requested to see the presidential suite. But after that, we got a tour of the property and garden for the Michelin dinner we were having that night. It was at Terre. Such a beautiful meal. So much seafood, so much wine, and quite frankly, so much caviar. This little bite was like the most gourmet version possible of a Ritz bit. And I really like that. And these little lobster tartlets. So we were properly wine and dine tonight. And to end the night, mini hot out of the oven Madeleines by the fire. Oh, what the hell? The next morning we woke up for farm duty. And by duty, I mean petting the prize cows that won this farm the Quality Milk Awards last year. Good milk, good butter, you feel me? But genuinely, I need to live on this farm and have teens scones every single day for the rest of my life. But you do have to pay the Charlie tax to get a scone. And that's fine by me. But truly, the hospitality from the Kennedy family was unmatched. So when they ask if you want Jameson at 11 a.m., you say yes, please. After I formed a deep emotional bond with Charlie, it was time to say goodbye because we were headed to the production facility to see how Kerrygold butter is made. No phones allowed, so only I'll never know. But obviously, we had to sample every single product they made. And then I rotted in a cheese coma in my room for a bit, eating this box of chocolates they left for me. But nothing could have prepared me for this garden dinner we had at Ballymaloe. I felt like I was in a dream. Like, look at that buttered lobster. I personally thought Alex was gonna pop out of the bush and propose. The team confirmed that he was not coming, so I went on with this absolutely amazing dinner. Those potatoes though. And for dessert, a little cheese flake. And then I had my first Guinness. Tucked into bed, and then it was our last day. We toured the famous Ballymaloe cooking school. This place is truly magical. They have over 600 chickens on the property. By the way, did you know asparagus grows like that? Making me a little uncomfortable. But I learned how to shuck oysters. I mean, I mostly just ate this bread and butter. But I did successfully shuck 2 oysters. So I treated myself to some chippies and a sausage roll. And just people watched and relaxed. We took our bus ride back to the hotel.
Okay, I'm going to skip that now because it is quite a long video, as you can see, and there's a lot going on. But just really interesting and surprising to see a butter brand utilizing creators and specifically US creators in such a way. And then the final bit of fun I just wanted to share with you before we open the floor to any Q&A is I loved this example from Nobody's Child on Instagram this week where they were playing with the dots underneath a carousel post and they asked users to hold the dots and scroll. And of course, if you hold the dots and scroll, it flips through all of the different carousels really quickly, all of the different slides, and they announced their 50% off summer sale. So I thought that was a really clever use of using that bit of technology in a playful way.